the most technologically advanced drumheads on Earth. What does that mean exactly? It means power, control, and all the tools you need to reshape the future of percussion. Choose wisely.
Welcome back to the Drum Rundown. We are here at a new venue, the Wild Horse Saloon in downtown Nashville, Tennessee, and I am with the drummer of Dance Gavin Dance, Matt Mingus. What's up, man?
What is up?
How's it going, dude?
Great.
Awesome. Nice to meet you, man, and thanks for sitting down with me today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining me here, and stoked to do this.
So we're not going to do a drum rundown. We're just going to do 1 hour podcast on our love of Phil Collins.
Thank God.
Yeah. So obviously, like a huge influencer drummer. Was all over the radio growing up. What got you into Phil Collins?
Oh man, the famous Phil and in the air tonight.
Can we pull it? Yes. That's it. Yes. Awesome. I think that's it, right? It's like
something like that. I don't know.
So
I actually
simple
don't know.
And effective, and it's huge, and you have to wait like 2 minutes and 40 seconds for the thing. It's like, what BDE to like have a song like that doesn't even have like drums and
it's
2.5 minutes
it's
in.
epic. And then when I've seen like videos of it, he's like at the beginning of the song, he's
walks
just
around and
he's like sitting on the front of the stage, and then all of a sudden he just gets up and goes back there and just fucking does it.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
There's this one video where I was watching it, and it's so awesome because he's timed it out for so long. He like gets there at the last possible second, like, and he's just sauntering up, you know, just hits the biggest intro of all time.
It's epic for sure.
So I think what's most interesting about thinking about your guys' influences is how all over the place you are. You go from Phil Collins to like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some Mars Volta. You can hear stuff in there. Yeah. You've referenced Deftones in the past, so you guys kind of have this nice spectrum of influence.
Definitely, yeah. A lot of funk too, like you mentioned, Earth, Wind, and Fire. We love that, and I feel like especially in recent years with my drumming, I've been more inspired from like, you know, the Funkadelics and stuff like that, and I enjoy incorporating all the different genres together. It's kind of like a challenge, you know, when I'm writing a song. It's like, well, this song doesn't seem like it would fit this particular drum style, but I'm going to make it work in there. So
and I like that about what you guys are doing too in the prog lane, where there is so many different influences, is like you're allowing stuff to get in there. And that's one of the questions I was going to ask you is, are there certain parts or vibes that you're pulling from funk where you're like, all right, I got to try to put this thing in, maybe it's like a 4 on the floor disco thing or something like that.
4 on the floor disco thing for sure. Definitely, there's a couple new songs that we just wrote that I like. I was just trying to keep it real simple with the kick and snare, but the hi-hat work, when you listen to like those bands, it was always pretty simple on the kick and snare, but the hi-hats were like going off, doing all these crazy rhythms. So I've been trying to incorporate more stuff like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you're getting it done on some cool cymbals. Let's just start there.
Yeah.
What do we got on the hi-hat?
The hi-hat right now, lately I've been using this, the 14-inch custom hybrid hi-hats, K-Custom hybrids, and I like how crispy they are. And when you have them closed, they're nice and crispy, and then you can still slosh them open, you know. And
I'm seeing you've got the kind of rippled edge on the bottom, giving you a little bit of that
rippled
sass.
edge. I feel like a really bad drummer because honestly, I don't know what this style is called of bottom hi-hats, but yeah. I don't know. I've tried many different hi-hats and I like a lot of them. Before this I played new beats, and those are kind of a go-to of mine, you know, especially for the straightforward like closed hi-hat stuff. But I've been enjoying these a lot lately. So
cool. Awesome. Run us around the horn. What else we got? We'll just go left to right.
This, I keep it simple, and you know, it's kind of where I started with Zildjian Cymbals with the A Customs. And this is just, I think this is a 17.
They're so shiny.
I know.
Like you can't even see the logos up
Yeah,
here.
these are 17s. I have 18s, so I wasn't sure which ones I had on. This is 17 A custom fast
Cool.
crash. This, honestly, I don't hit this cymbal a ton.
Okay.
It's kind of just for some,
Big moments?
yeah,
Explosive
No,
stuff?
more like quiet.
Okay, so the opposite of what I said.
Yeah, not
Okay,
big
so, yeah,
moments,
I'm an
because
idiot.
it's it's got the more higher pitch, but just like the fast shit, it sounds good, a quick choke,
Cool.
And then I got the splash,
Gotta have one.
we don't play much reggae music. It's funny because when you think of splash, for me at least, I always think of like reggae shit, but
Yeah.
but I love incorporating this when I can. And this is a 10-inch A custom. I do also like the 10-inch K splashes as well. If you didn't know, I'm a Zildjian guy, obviously.
right.
I love Zildjian, all things Zildjian. I have been since I was a kid, so it's an honor to be working with them.
Keeping it in the case.
Yeah. And then this is my go-to crash right here.
Okay.
Probably one of my favorite cymbals that Zildjian's ever made. The K custom dark crash 19-inch. And it's just a really good sounding cymbal, for those big moments.
Yeah.
And also just for accents. And it's a really cool, versatile cymbal, in my opinion. And then this cymbal, this is actually kind of funny. They sent this to me by accident. I was ordering a different trash cymbal here, and they accidentally sent me the Smash Trash. It's a 19-inch Smash Trash. It's got the, what are these called? Like reverse bells, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck, they sent me the wrong cymbal. Sorry, I keep cussing. I don't know if that's a no-no.
For the kids, man. Yeah,
So excuse my language, but they sent me the wrong cymbal, and I was like, I'll try it out. And honestly, I really like it. And this is also a hybrid, a custom hybrid.
what characteristics made you fall in love with it?
It's
What's it
just
given
kind
you?
of weird. It's different, for me, honestly, I personally don't think it sounds good like crashing on it, like riding on it, but for accents and whatnot, or like cymbal swells, I think, this in combination with the 19-inch K-Dark on a cymbal swell sounds huge, know? And it just, it's unique. I don't know. So I've been using it now for a little while. And then as far as ride cymbals go, I crash on.
Sweet dude, Sweet Ride is like, it's the best.
It is. It's funny because this is
such a great
not
cymbal.
what I have been using lately, but what I've been using is cracked, and I'm waiting on the swap. So I'm using the Sweet Ride as my back, the K Sweet, because you can't go wrong with them.
Yeah.
And then it's funny though, because every time I go back to these, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how much I love playing these cymbals.
Yeah.
So
They just have like that really great feel. I don't know, there's just something in the way it responds. It's just
good feel. The bells,
awesome.
nice. It sounds good if you ping on it. It sounds good if you crash on it. Playing with Dance Gavin Dance, I use my ride cymbals mostly as crashes.
Yeah.
When we're recording stuff, there's a lot of some pingy stuff. Honestly, in the studio, I'll throw on like a ping ride or something for those parts. But live, I keep it real. Usually, I've been playing the 22-inch K Dark crash ride that I've discovered. I had never played one until recently, and I feel like that was like the perfect cymbal, because I made a mistake a couple tours back, and I got a Constantinople.
okay.
And I was like, oh man, these are amazing. I've always wanted one of these. And those cymbals are not for fucking crashing on. They're not for loud rock music. They're for, jazz and shit. And so it lasted me about 2 shows, and I broke it, and I learned my lesson. Okay, this stays at home. I just will use this in the studio for special parts. But and then up here, over here on this side, I kind of have my effects cymbals.
It's Fun Zone over there.
Yeah, this is the fun zone. This is my, trash. Right now, I think this is a 16. I go back and forth between 16 and 19, special dry trash. And, I feel bad because it doesn't get as much love as it should. I try to incorporate it, but I feel like it is technically called a special dry. So
Special times
it's
only.
reserved for special moments only. And then over in the China world, forever I used the 16-inch Orientals, which I love. They had a nice bright sound, But then I discovered these the K Custom Hybrid Chinas, and I kind of honestly fell in love. I think this one is a 18-inch, and I don't know, they sound so smooth.
Yeah.
And they resonate so nice. Like if I end a section of a song and I just hit that, and instead of hitting a crash out on the one, like this goes over into the next section so nicely, versus, you know, the Oriental's kind of a quick.
Yeah. And this whole show, that I only started the Drum Rundown to talk about China cymbals and to bring them back, and they are back. So
they're back.
They're super back.
I think you single-handedly brought them back.
Me and a bunch of other dudes that are also playing, man.
So I was dying on our last tour when we were in Europe. I went over there and I thought, you know, one less bag. Let me rent backline cymbals over there. And all that they had for a China was a 22-inch Oriental.
Yeah.
I play 20-inch kick drums, so it was bigger than my kick drum. It was hilarious, and I played it the whole tour, and I made it work, but it was kind of comically large, you know.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of the kick drum, it's on this beautiful DW kit.
Yes.
Just looks like a Cadillac. Beautiful with the hardware and the gold and the brass snare. Let's talk about these drums, man. What do we got for the finish, first of all?
Yeah, so you know, I've been with DW for a long time. This is my first tour with this drum kit. This is a Classic Series kit, which is their take on like the more vintage drums, you know, from like the 40s and 50s era. And I just wanted to try something different. I've always been a maple guy. All my kits have always been maple. I tried acrylic for a while. Not for me, but so yeah, I wanted to try something different. So I got this. These come with birch, and they're just beautiful sounding drums.
And what is the characteristics of the birch that you're liking?
For these, I mean, I don't know. They sound so good. And let me go through the toms real quick.
Do it. Yeah.
And they sound naturally good. I've tried different combinations of heads. The tone, it just comes out really nicely. And it's, for me, it's got that nice mix of really brightness and like subtle, you know, undertones. And right now I have pinstripe heads on these, which I do like, but they are not my go-to. That's just kind of what we had at the moment on the road. I've been putting vintage Emperors on here, and they sing, man. And it's almost nothing to tune them, you know. You just kind of put them on, get them comfy.
When you're rolling vintage Emperors, are you doing coateds?
No.
Clears.
Clears.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like hazy.
Yeah.
Hazy.
The hazy dudes.
Yeah.
I've been using these pinstripes lately, and I like the little ring. There's that little bit of like textural stuff on, looks like cobwebby stuff on the outside. I feel like it's just wrangling overtones, letting a lot of low end come out. And I play concert toms because, you know, Phil. So no
buddy.
bottom heads, but you have bottom heads.
I do have bottom heads.
And you're running ambassadors, like the workhorse.
I've always used ambassadors on the bottom, you know, the single ply. And the pinstripes, the cool thing about them is, and I'm sorry, I know we got off track from DW, but I like pinstripes because they are a little thicker, and they last me really long on the road. You know, I only have to change them like once a week, versus when I used to just use Emperor clears. Even though they are 2-ply, I'd have to change them every 2 or 3 shows. So it's nice having that. But yeah, back to the DW. It's got gold die-cast hardware. And
so slick, dude.
I've always been a fan of things gold. I think we all are kind of born with that in us, you know, being attracted to gold. It's kind of bizarre. And one day I hope to maybe have the Neil Peart hardware, gold hardware situation. It's hard to come by, and it was actually really cool. Before this tour, I got to go to the DW factory. Thanks for having me, guys. And thank you, Steve. And I got to go check out, they have the last drum kit that Neil Peart played before he passed. And it was like I don't know, it was a pretty epic moment in my drumming career, just music career and fan career, you know. Neil Peart was always, I don't know, he's just one of the greatest. You know, we were talking about Phil Collins, but I put Neil up there too. And seeing his setup and the gold hardware and everything so custom, and it's just like, oh, one day I hope I can be there. So yeah, we'll see. But for right now, yeah, I use all DW hardware, Do you have cameras down here at the feet, right?
we'll zoom in on, you know, in the Cadillac lane, the 9000s. It's the best.
9000s. I love the 9000s.
Yeah, man, so good.
I've used, you know, pretty much all of the thousands, and I started using nines. Shoot, probably like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And well, actually, I got to correct myself. They're technically the 9002s because they're the double kick version.
The double kick version.
Well, I've gone to order them and I get corrected, and I'm like, oh shit, my bad.
And on the kick, are you doing anything to the settings, or are you out of the box?
No, I'm out of the box.
Yeah.
I don't really adjust them. I'll kind of sit there and even make sure, you know, the beaters are sitting evenly.
Yeah, that's kind of all you have to do with 9000s. It's just like out of the box. Even though I play a 5000 heelless, and it's just like, you don't have to touch these things.
Yeah.
You just throw them on, and it's like the tension it's almost perfect every time.
And I've had various moments in my career where I've tried to adjust the tension and try different things.
Dude, it's a rabbit hole, man.
And it's a freaking rabbit hole. That's the best way.
Yeah.
And then I always come to the realization that, oh shoot, I'm just out of shape and I just need to work out my legs.
Yeah, exactly. The snare drum is just like such a stunner. Talk to me about this snare, man.
This is rolled brass 14 by 6.5. I've always been a fan of this size. This is my ideal snare drum size, and I kind of got into these metal snares a while back before I was with DW and I was with another company. I tried a copper snare. I thought that was cool, and then from DW I've gotten an aluminum snare. And then I got this, and I love this especially for outdoor shows.
Yeah,
this thing sings and it snaps and it cracks, and it's I mean, you can really, it's versatile. When I recorded with it in the studio, and I mean, you can make it sound so many different ways, you know, and it sounds good however you tune it, you know.
I was gonna say the metal characteristics that I seem to like in these drums is that it can go high, and it can go low. At the, you know,
definitely
you can tune it up, you can tune it down, and you still get those characteristics.
And then what I have here, I haven't been playing it on this tour, but I have it as my backup. Oh, yeah. But I'd love to show it because it's so beautiful.
Dude, bring it in. Oh yeah.
This is, DW only made 24 of these, I believe. Wow. I was able to get my hands on one thanks to the Music Foundation. DW Music Foundation is something that since I've been with DW, I've kind of grown passionate about, and donating money and doing what I can to help, you know, kids get music in their lives, because this day and age it's, you know, kind of dying, unfortunately, at school. And so I do what I can to help, and they contacted me and asked if I was interested in one of these snares. It's a timeless collection. It's beautiful. It's mahogany and maple, and it sounded really good in the studio and live. It sounds great, but it's like, it's so beautiful and pristine that I'm
it's
like, I don't think I'll bring it on the road again, because it's like, it needs to just stay in the studio at home.
Isn't that crazy? We spend all this money on like this beautiful stuff, where you get a beautiful piece and you're like, okay, you stay at home, and I'll never use it.
I'm gonna just hog this for myself. But great job as always, DW.
That is a gorgeous, what a backup. And I saw on both the snares you're using my favorite snare head, the Emperor X.
Yeah,
I love that snare.
I love Emperor X. I kind of started using them a couple years ago, and I go between those, and I like controlled sound as well.
It's kind of got the controlled sound thing. It's got the reinforcement dot on the inside, and your signature sticks are getting it done.
Yeah,
talk to me about these dudes.
Vic Firth.
Yeah. I mean, how cool is it to have your name and your band on a Vic Firth stick? I mean,
it's sweet.
Feels good, bro.
It feels really good. They're just 3As, you know. They've asked me before if I need to make adjustments, but I've started playing these sticks, you know, 15 years ago, and there's no turning back. It's a perfect stick for me. I like that, you know, they have the fatter taper at the front, so it feels like a heavier stick without being so thick and taking that beat. Because, you know, I'll be honest. I don't have very large hands. I have small hands. So, you know, when I used to try to play 2Bs and stuff, like my fingers would get really sore and cramp up. And these, I don't have that, but it still feels like I'm playing with that larger stick.
When you're kind of searching for your tone, are you auditioning other things before a tour, or you find something and you kind of lock into
I've always been of that mindset. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
and so it's like I have go-to stuff that I've just always used the last, you know, 18 years of touring, and I don't know, I kind of keep it in the wheelhouse. But then what happens is I will go play on like someone else's setup in the studio or something, and then that's kind of how I discover stuff. I'm like, oh man, this actually does sound really good. It's time for a change. So, you know, I'm a simple man, but the older I get, the more open I am to trying new things when it comes to drumming.
Which is completely inverse. Like as you get older, you're like more open-minded and not stuck in your ways.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I don't know, man. Because I was like that for so long. Like, no, this is how I do it. You can't change it. And I don't know. I've just realized that I do not know everything, and there's a lot of people that know a lot more than I do. So I'm willing to learn.
But it keeps you guys fresh, and it keeps the sounds fresh. And every time you guys record more and more music, it's just like you're pushing into new stuff. You're bringing in more influences.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah. So when you're in the studio, are you playing with stuff, or is it just kind of like what works on the road as well? Are you kind of chasing tones in studio?
It depends. The majority of our albums, I think we're about to release our 12th record, but we've done 10 of the 12 with our buddy Chris Crummett in Portland. And we have it down for the toms and the kick, but every album we use more snare drums. Mm-hmm. We're switching out snares for songs, switching out cymbals, and just kind of getting more creative in that way, and just trying to acquire different sounds for each record.
Nice.
And it makes it more fun, you know. Yeah. It makes it enjoyable.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for letting me sit behind this beautiful kit. This is just such a stunner, man. And thanks for talking to me about Phil Collins. Always a treat.
Dude, thank you. It's been a pleasure. A great conversation. Really stoked about these drums, and I'm glad that you took the time to come check them out. And I hope you guys enjoy them too. These are drums for the people.
Drums for the people, a drum show for the people. It's called the Drum Rundown. We've been here with Matt Mingus of Dance, Gavin Dance. We will see you on the next one.
See you guys.